literature withstood time and periods and has evolved through generations. For every period that passed, different genres appeared, and these literary works are rooted from all regions reflect their culture, society, and lifestyle. The evolution of Philippine literature starts in the pre-colonial period, the Spanish colonial era, the American colonial era, and the 21st century literature. In this episode, you will be learning the Philippine 21st century literature.
Hi everyone, I'm Jan Lemel Valdez, and I will be your host for today's podcast. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys, and I know you are very excited to meet those literature genius students from St. Joseph College. So, what are we waiting for? Let me present to you Miss Hadrake, Miss Tumon, Miss Salazar, and Mr. Dalida. And I know these people will be aspiring literary masters very soon. So let's proceed to our guide questions. So first question is, what do you know about 21st century literature? Or can you give me some overview about this 21st century literature?
Hi, good morning everyone. Thank you for inviting me in this podcast episode. For me, the 21st century literature is associated with its academic context pertaining to the enduring works of fiction, philosophy, etc. that have been studied for generations and molded the foundations of our thought. Yet, literature by its definition comprises all the written works, a truth that has never been more applicable than in our current internet age, when the written word is more accessible and democratic than ever before. The 21st century literature is important because it can help us to better understand our world today. Through literature, we develop emotional characters, connections, and a shared community. We witness unparalleled kindness and terror, and though these experiences, we start to learn about ourselves and others. Literature allows a person to step back in time and learn about life and works from the ones who walked before us. We can gather a better understanding of culture and have a great appreciation of them.
Okay, thank you for your information about 21st century literature, and I can really say that you have the knowledge about this topic. And now let's proceed to our second question, guys. Okay, how do you define great literary works in 21st century?
Hi, thank you Lemel for your very challenging question. There are lots of literary pieces that are made nowadays, but in considering the real one, it should fit the characteristics that a literary piece should have. So there are 7 literary standards observed to consider one. So these are artistry, suggestiveness, intellectual value, spiritual value, permanence and universality, and style. So there. One example to this is Ligo na You, Lapit na Mi by Eros Atalia is a story about 2 college students named Intoy and Jenny who engage in casual sexual relationship. In short, they are friends with benefits. The book teaches its reader that there are lots of questions, and whether you know the answer or not, it does not guarantee a happy ending. Sometimes most intriguing questions are left unanswered, and you must have to accept it.
Well, we have different bases on how do we define the great literary works or pieces in 21st century. Okay, let's proceed to our third question, guys. Okay, here's the third question. In your perspective, how can you say that the title is great? Okay.
The story is very relatable to almost everyone, and some might find this work helpful, yeah, entertaining, and a lesson to a real life situation. I consider this as one of the great literary works in our country because it fits to the literary standard of being a
Yes,
real
again,
literature.
we have different reasons on how we can say that the title is great. There are some literary pieces or works we encountered that from the title itself, so from the title itself, we can view some themes in that specific literary work. But anyway, let's proceed to our fifth question. Okay. How does reading this literary piece influence you? For example, if you're reading some specific literary work, so how does this piece influence you?
Well, yes, of course. Reading has influenced a lot, especially in taking my step to becoming a better one. No, reading lets me explore various stories to look on to and lots of lessons to ponder. Reading also unlocks my horizon and does not limit me to do anything that I wanted to know. And reading has influenced me by changing me to my best part. So therefore, reading is really influencing me as a person and as a student. Thank you so much.
Next question: do you think reading is essential in the 21st century when you could get information from blogs or social media?
Well, for me, reading is still essential in 21st century than getting information from blogs and social media. It is because people have shown that reading printed material encourages the brain to work harder and better as opposed to reading social media platforms. And reading newspapers or books gives one a chance to hit the pause button to improve comprehension and insight.
The seventh question, guys. So, if you are an author, what would be your literary piece? Or if you have given a chance to be an author, so can you give us some themes for your literary work?
If I am an author, my literary piece would be about folktales or folklore. It is because it allows students to experience one of the ways a society develops a sense of moral behavior in its children.
And follow-up question, guys. What is your inspiration for creating that piece, that literary piece? Again, what is your inspiration for creating that literary piece?
Of course, my inspiration would be the children who are already into gadgets in their such early ages, which is not good for their health.
For the last question, guys, do you think it is useful 10 years from now?
Filipinos are known to be one of the best writers in the world. As we continue to write literary pieces, we are thinking about the impact that our work might give after 10 years. For me, the modern literary pieces are helpful after 10 years because this could be used as a window of our means of making literature. This could be a tool for the next generation that helps them to preserve our very own culture. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for participating in this podcast, and all your answers are highly appreciated. And I hope you guys will learn something about this 21st century literature.
Literature is a life to a lonely soul. Reading great literary work is life-changing. In the 21st century, we need to showcase our works to bring back our almost forgotten literary pieces. Change your soul by reading.